To finish off our exponent properties, we're going to look at one last rule that is division as a division property instead of a multiplication property. When we look at these problems, we'll see a top and a bottom to our problem like a fraction. If there's any numbers out in front, we're going to simplify those numbers like they are fractions. Okay, so like before, the coefficients of the numbers, we multiplied those together. Here we're going to simplify them like fractions. Okay, the variable is going to stay wherever the exponent is biggest, and then we'll subtract our exponents. Okay, we'll understand the more we do some problems of these, so let's take a look at a few examples. All right, so here I see some division problems. Okay, I see that I have a top and a bottom. These are like fraction problems that I need to simplify. I don't have any coefficients or any numbers out in front of the variables like I do in these last two problems, so in this problem I don't have to worry about that. All right, all I'm going to do on this problem is I'm going to look. I have x to the fourth and x to the ninth, same base. I need to figure out where will that x end up and what exponent will it have. Right? The way I like to think about these problems, I like to think about it that the x's are at war with each other. All right, so I have x on the top and he has 4 troops with him. All right, and I've got an x on the bottom, he has 9 troops with him. Clearly, the bottom is going to win, 9 troops to 4. The x is going to end up down here on the bottom where the exponent is bigger. Okay, but in the process of this battle, they're going to kill each other off. These 4 are going to kill off 4 of these. Okay, and only be left with 5. I'm going to subtract those exponents. Always just the larger number minus the smaller number. Okay, so 9 minus 4 is 5. Nothing's left on the top, so I leave it with a 1. All right, so 1 over x to the 5th. I see that where the exponent is bigger, that's where the x ends up, and then I subtract my exponents. All right, let's try another problem. Okay, we'll go over here to the right to letter H. All right, I like to go ahead and just draw my fraction bar as I get started. For this problem, I see that there is a coefficient on the top and the bottom that I need to simplify, 4 over 2. Okay, now 4 over 2, I'm going to look at this just like it's a fraction, so I don't even have to think about my variables or any of the rest of the problem. 4 over 2 reduces to be 2 over 1. Okay, so this reduces like a fraction to be 2 over 1. All right, now I look at my variables and I think about those like I did over here with my x's. I have a to the 10th power and I have a to the 5th power. My a will end up where the exponent is biggest, okay, which is the top. So I know I'll have a on the top. And here I'm going to subtract my exponents. 10 minus 5 is 5. So 2a to the 5th power over 1, which technically I don't need to keep this 1 on the bottom of my problem. If this was a multiple choice question, it would just be written 2a to the 5th power. Okay? If you leave that 1 there, it's okay, but technically it's not necessary. So 2a to the 5th power. All right, let's try one last example like this. Okay, I'm going to draw my fraction bar. Again, I see I have coefficients in the front of my problem, 12 over 8. Okay, so I'm going to reduce that fraction. You can just use a calculator for that. 12 over 8, type it in as a fraction, hit equals, or you could do 12 divided by 8. You're going to want your answer as a fraction, though. When I reduce this, I know that 4 goes into both, so I'm going to end up with 3 over 2 for the reduced fraction. Now I look at each variable individually to decide where will it end up and what will the exponent be. Here I have my x's, x to the 6th, x to the 5th. The x will end up on the top, okay, and I subtract my exponent. 6 minus 5 is x to the 1 power. All right, I look at my y's to determine where the y's will end up. I have y to the 7th on the top, y squared on the bottom. Okay, my y's will end up where the exponent is biggest, which is the top. All right, and I subtract my exponent. 7 minus 2 is 5. All right, again here, technically, I don't need this 1 exponent on the x. All right, if I were looking at a multiple choice answer, it would merely be 3x, y to the 5th power, all over 2. Okay, so now we know 3 basic rules for exponents, 2 multiplication rules, and a division rule. You have some problems to practice on your own, so good luck with those, and we will check those together tomorrow.